Okay, so in the morning we're going camping down in Cornwall, so we are doing a road trip from East Sussex to Cornwall. Hopefully we'll be able to show you how we get on, stopping, etc., and also how we pack the car. Hopefully we can get all this in. Wish us luck. Okay, so that's us virtually packed. We have a large tent that's on one of the back seats because there's only 3 of us going. We have a storage box with all the cooking and washing and that sort of type equipment. 3 chairs, some collapsible storage boxes for when we use. A couple of cookers just so that we're covered. Gas, obviously. Other things like, you know, a kettle. Underneath, in the compartment that's underneath there where you normally keep the cables, we've currently got our blow-up sleeping bed. We also have some cables, so a light that we hang up, a electric hookup cable that allows us to plug in things in the tent. We don't want to do it too rustic, we like to have electricity. So if we come around, you can see tent, poles, jackets, rucksacks, etc. all in there. There's a table in there, some boots for walking. So we've got a few bits more to do, but hopefully we'll squeeze it all in, and if not, we'll just have to sit on our laps, I guess. But hopefully in the morning we'll be just ready to rock and roll. Okay, so this is the route we're going to take. Starting off in East Sussex, we're going to stop at Winchester Norton Park, Tesla Supercharger, and then the Exeter Supercharger before arriving in Pensacola Camping and Caravan Park. Ignore the times because we're not leaving till the morning, but basically we're looking at 291 miles and 5 hours 40 minutes of driving and 6 hours 17 minutes in total, and it should cost not a lot. Morning, time is 8:45. We're just about to head off to Cornwall from East Sussex. We'll, in our Tesla Model 3, we will show you how we get on. We've got a couple of supercharger stops, but first of all we're going to stop for coffee. See you soon. It's suggesting we were planning on stopping at Exeter, but if we can get to Lifton we might stop there and charge for a bit longer, because I'd like to arrive at the park with 30+% if possible, just so we can get around easy and make sure we can get to the non-Tesla supercharger chargers in the area. So let's see how we go. Reset the trip marker, and we are at 100% battery. So we've arrived at Norton Park Services. There's only 2 superchargers here, which unfortunately are both in use. So we will have to wait a little bit. There is another Model X sitting over there as well, but I don't think anyone's in that. So I think hopefully they've already charged, they just happen to be staying here. But we will, it's a hotel, so hopefully people aren't going to be plugged in all day. But I presume not at a supercharger. So we'll wait shortly and see what happens. We've completed charging. Unfortunately we did have to wait about half an hour here because of only 2 chargers. Typically nobody's come back since and both other cars have gone. So we were a bit unlucky, but I guess that's one of the risks of going somewhere where there's only 2 chargers. But we have charged up to 95% battery now, so we should arrive at Exeter Supercharger with about 33%, so that's a just 2 hour 20-minute drive. So we're about to head off. So we're here at our second stop. We just did something to eat. It's a really nice place actually. It's there's a mini shopping centre here with there's snack bars and food bars and things, and they've also got these massive wigwams that, and places for the kids to run around and stuff. It's really good. We've just about finished charging. We're just about to head on the rest of our way to Cornwall. So we made it to Cornwall without too many dramas, apart from one charger where we had to wait half an hour because it seemed two cars turned up just before us, and it was only a two supercharger slot. So we'd probably avoid that one in future, but no trouble extra. Cars work perfectly. Spent most of it on autopilot. It's gone really well. Now we're at the campsite and we are charging the car on the Commando. So that's working well as well. So we've already added about 6 or 7%. We've just had a quick bite to eat, and we're going to set up by the fire and enjoy the rest of the evening and watch the beautiful view that we have.
Hopefully a lovely sunset. Beth's doing the fire.
Speak to you later. So we've had a great time in Cornwall. Cars worked out really well for us. I think we've only had to do one rapid charge while we were down here, and to be honest, we probably could have got away without doing that, because we've generally been plugged into the electric hookup at the campsite when we've needed to. Yesterday, for example, we hadn't charged at all for a couple of days, and but last night we put it on charge for about 5 or 6 hours on the 3 kilowatt electric hookup, and we got from 35% up to about 75%. We've done a little trip to Heligan Gardens this morning, which has been really good, and we are now about to head back to East Sussex. We have 68% charge on the battery. We are stopping, planned stop is Exeter, and then Fleet, and then home. So hopefully we should get back in about 6 hours and 3 minutes according to the Tesla navigation. We've done 432 miles already, so there's another 284 to go. So it'll give us a round trip of over 700 miles. But the car has so far worked brilliantly. The only issue we've had so far is the half-hour wait at Norton, which we won't be stopping at today because they've only got 2 chargers. So we'll go to Fleet where there's loads.
We've used all the Genie points as well down in Cornwall.
Yeah, so we used the Genie Point charger in St Austell, and we've seen lots of others around. So we've had plenty of other opportunities to park and charge. Eden Project, there were chargers there. We've seen Genie points in a number of car parks that we've been to, so we've really been spoilt for choice. As I say, we've not really had to charge because we've been able to top up on a few nights at least via the Commando charging on the electric hookup, and it's been really good.
One point on the Genie point was don't forget to use the actual machine and the app at the same time.
Yeah, so what we did was the first time I did it, I started it on the app, it waited and waited and waited, and then failed. And then second time I started it on the app, then I had a look at the machine and it was asking me to choose the Cadamo or the CCS. I clicked on the CCS and then the app kicked in and it worked. So that's something to be aware of, because when you're on the app you choose Cadamo or CCS, it's not clever enough to work out which one you've plugged in already. You actually have to tell it on the machine, or at least that's seemingly how it worked for us. Okay, so we're going to head off. We'll check in again at Exeter. Okay, so we've just left Exeter Supercharger. We got there, almost looked like they were fully booked. There was one free, there was one iced, and there's one broken. So we were lucky we got the one that was free. Somebody else had gone into the broken one and then had to back out and wait. And some idiot in a Nissan had parked in one of the others. So we got charged straight away. We're charged up to 95% battery now, because we have a long stint to Fleet northbound. We have been delayed slightly on the way due to roadworks on the A30, but we're making progress now, and we're just going to hopefully get a reasonably clear run all the way up towards Fleet and the M25. Okay. So we've reached Fleet, 3 bays free. So we have bays free here. There's still 4 bays still wrapped, not ready yet to go. We've almost finished charging them. 70% is more than enough to get home. So we will be off on our final leg. So we've made it back. Just finished the trip back to East Sussex. 720.1 miles, 246 watt miles. We can unpack, have a drink, and finish off tomorrow with a review of how we've gone. So conclusions about our trip to Cornwall. Basically everything went really well. There were no major issues. The only issues I've mentioned a couple of times already was the charger at Norton Park. I would definitely be a bit more careful about how I choose chargers in the future. Really looking to go to ones where there's plenty. Exeter was really busy, and they do definitely need another charger along that corridor between Cornwall and the southeast. Ideally somewhere along the A303. I think there is one planned for Amesbury, so that should hopefully fill that spot. Otherwise, charging around Cornwall, pretty good actually. Seem to be quite a few chargers. Genie Point especially, so if you're going to Cornwall, look up Genie Point. It's pretty straightforward, just an app as usual. And there were a fair few of them around. Obviously most of the time they're only one at a spot, so I wouldn't always rely on them, but what we did was we just tried to grab a charger when we can. So I never left it too low. And I think that's the way you should look at it. You should try and charge when the opportunity exists. So keep the car pretty much high charged when you can. If you go out for dinner or you go to the supermarket, charge there if there's the opportunity. We had the Commando chargers camping, so that was great as well. So I think overall, car worked beautifully, no issues, and we'll see how it gets on our next long distance drive to the Lake District.